Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today we're going to be looking at 33's Seer. This was one of the craziest games of Dota I've seen in a while, so I'm like, alright, I gotta make this video, show you guys what he does to, frankly, 1v9 this game. I mean, him with the help of Sox, obviously they did it together. But yeah, I mean, what's so weird about this game is if you watch the first 2 minutes, you're like, oh, he's gonna play to be very stable, it's gonna be a super chill game, he's gonna farm back camp, Sox is gonna sap the lane, and they're gonna play for high XP, but not necessarily some absurd amount of net worth. That's pretty standard for modern Seer. However, they end up running over the lane, and I mean running over the lane. And what's crazy is, a hero like Lone Druid is generally picked to win these types of lanes, or at least do well. On top of that, go sign up to the gameleap website, guys. I'm posting new content over there almost every day, and I'll see you there. First wave, nothing special. He's gonna double shell. For everyone who doesn't play Seer, this is very standard in modern Dota. It's basically done almost every game for a variety of reasons. Number one, it makes it pretty easy to last hit as you shell here first. And then number two, it also allows you to drag the second wave. I guess there's a number three. It puts a lot of pressure on a lot of carries. They take a lot of damage. They missed a lot of last hits, so on and so forth. So yeah, you double shell. You can't see one of the shells because it's bugged, but you double shell, you get the last hits. They are contested generally, but not the end of the world. And you're chilling. The next wave, you're pause, fork, and drag. And this is very standard for high MMR Dota, right? You push the first wave of 2 shells, you drag the second wave, and then eventually, oh wow, he actually is opting to contest this large camp. That's interesting. Okay, kind of like that. Even fighting the silencer. Not what I expected. Holding the point as well. Okay, double shell. He has 1 shell on himself, 1 shell on the wave here, so he's going to be able to full push the next wave. And this is one of the advantages of Seer. Oh, look at this as well. It has Heart of Battle. And this Heart of Battle facet is really bizarre. It makes you so fast. Bro is 338. Right, keep in mind, Seer is actually typically a 285 movement speed hero, if I'm not mistaken. So that is insane. It allows him to kind of just approach the wave and then back off. Also, in the meanwhile, Sox is farming up some of the wave. Considered stacking, unfortunately missed the timer, which actually is kind of a big deal. So Sox a big noob, but it is what it is. And after that, he ships out a Clarity and a Ring of Health, right? So this is his next items. He started the game with a set of tangos, 5 branches, then ships out Clarity, Ring of Health, and is going to use that to jungle. And this is what I mean. You look at the first 2 minutes and you're like, oh, they're playing passive. Sox is going to sap some XP, and 33 is going to be a defensive player in the jungle. That's what it looks like is going to happen in this game. However, that is not what happens at all. 33 finishes up these camps, which I feel like maybe he could have stacked one of them, but whatever. He finishes up, okay, he doesn't even go for the other camp, I guess because Ion Shell is like half duration, maybe it's too risky. But he hits level 3, almost level 4, and level 4 will come into play here. So it's crazy how much XP you can get from just jungling these camps, right? Neutral camps, guys, they give a lot of XP, but not necessarily as much gold, at least for the amount of time you have to spend to kill them. So that's a big thing to understand. So even if your low net worth is Seer, farming these back camps, you'll have good levels. You can always play the game. But yeah, TP's in. Maybe would have liked to see him TP 1 second later so that he could have max mana and shell the Tiny off of the Fountain regen, which he kind of does do, but he's going to be a little bit low. And then, yeah, they just go for a kill. The Lone Druid steps up, but he shelled himself in base. I actually forgot to mention that, right? The first thing he does is he shells himself in base so that he has double shell. All right, 1 shell here, TP in. Second shell in 2 seconds. Lone Druid kind of doesn't expect it. Lone Druid probably just thinks that, right, they're not really playing to be aggressive, but Avalanche Toss, Blood Grenade, hits level 4, Vacuum. I mean, you could be like, wow, that's so cheap, but like, frankly, the Lone Druid's super dead. I mean, I don't think they would have killed Silencer that cleanly. I'm pretty sure he would have had to chase the Lone Druid and Silencer would have walked away. But nonetheless, yeah, now the game blows completely open. I mean, essentially the lane is over, right? If you're good enough at Seer, there's essentially no way you don't find a few more kills because you queue up a Vanguard, he's got a Vanguard, you can walk anywhere and at anyone and have 0 threat of dying. It's too early into the game, by the way, another Heart of Battle moment, 338 movement speed, 360 when walking in between 4 heroes, right? 338, I believe, is 3 heroes, it's a 1200 radius, so he's a little outside of the range of the Lone Druid here. Yeah, just straight up walks up to the Silencer. It's like he has phase boots. I mean, I'm not kidding. 360 movement speed is phase boots territory. Walks down the silencer. Okay, it doesn't decide to go on the lone druid initially as, oh, Toxa playing a little close, but gets some really good damage. Level 3 Ion Shell. I was gonna say, should pop the clarity. Pops it a little bit late there, but not the end of the world, it happens. And he's gonna go under the tower, and they end up trading Soxa for Ghost, or Soxa for the lone druid here. Tiny for the lone druid in a moment, as they kill him off. So, it's just crazy. One thing turns into another. Couple good plays in a row. I mean, really, it just takes one good punch. You have to do everything correct to set up for this good punch, right? He wouldn't have been level 4 if he hadn't had soaked the large camp XP, if he didn't properly use shells in the first few waves, right? Imagine he got zoned off this wave under the tower when the tiny was all the way over here. That is a very common scenario for offlane players when they are trying to do this type of thing. But it didn't happen to him this game. And so all these things add up and allow for this game plan. Oh, no, he missed the wall. That was definitely a kill. Damn, that was definitely a kill. As, okay, gonna push in the wave. And at this point, they're just looking to psycho dive. Oh, no. Oh, brother. They get another kill, and diving tier 2s in minute 7. Not something you see every day, as he actually queues up the Void Stone. Okay, that is not what I expected. Maybe gonna look at something like a Lotus Orb. Would definitely make a lot of sense this game. Gets the Polywog Charm, probably with mana regen if he had the option. Yep. Polywog Charm with mana regen. And something I'd like to note as well now is that just because you won the early game doesn't mean you have to play like super aggressive. I think a lot of people think that, okay, I've managed to win the early game. I'm off to a good start. Time to keep killing people. And the reality is, guys, if you build a lead with a hero like Darkseer, and you don't see an obvious kill opportunity, you don't have to force anything. You are going to farm at some ridiculous speed, while this lone druid is going to farm at a snail's pace, especially considering he died with no bear. And so yeah, you really don't have to force anything. He TP's mid here, which I understand. I think it ends up resulting in maybe 2 kills. You could probably get to this. Nah, okay. They probably mis-executed a bit there, but TP's mid ends up being pretty nice, right? They're going to get a mid tower, actually looking to invade stacks, but there were none. There were none. So he's going to tell his puck to progress top wave. This is a very nice sequence from Tundra, right? They understand that he won't be back top for a while. Why did he buy Voidstone over Soul Ring if he was going to... Oh, that's pretty interesting. Maybe he just thinks it's enough mana. And so then he's going to go back for Crimson and turn this into a real item later instead of having a Soul Ring. The thing is, the Soul Ring is nice. The health is very nice on a frontline hero like Darkseer. So that's why I really do like buying it. But okay, going for the Crimson Guard next, controlling the mid wave. As I said, you should not just stop farming, right? It's always good to continue to scale, guys. You guys know that's kind of my mantra as he goes on the Mercy here. Maybe wall a little early. And he's going to transition it into the next tier 1 tower. And this is something I've seen from a lot of the top players, where they have a very heavy emphasis on killing all of the tier 1s if they win the early game, right? I'm still trying to exactly understand it all. It's an opinion I've also kind of had for a long time. Why exactly? I mean, here's what I'll say, guys. I do believe it's primarily because the tier 1s are easy to kill, and towers in general just kind of, when you remove a tower, as he finds the silencer here, it just allows you to play that area significantly more comfortably. It also sets up for things like Tormentor and gate control, because your team can basically TP onto the gates, TP onto Tormentor plays, while the enemy doesn't have that luxury. So if the enemy, let's say they want to contest the Tormentor at minute 20, but someone shows bottom, right? At minute 15, but someone shows bottom, that hero cannot cleanly connect because they don't have a tier 1. And so that's a huge, huge, huge thing. Where basically when you get info, it means even more, because it means that hero is even further away from their team. They cannot connect. Okay, we're gonna see a smoke up from Tundra. The Darkseer just pushing in the wave. Actually goes back for the Soul Ring. Okay, what? I mean, don't get me wrong. I played a lot of games with this hero. You need a soul, like you tend to need a Soul Ring. This hero can button mash spells. It's actually setting up on the Beastmaster here. Nice bluff on the tier 2, right? This is something that's hard to execute in pubs. Okay, let me rephrase. This is a play that's essentially impossible to execute in pubs because if you TP bottom when your team is near a tier 2, your team's probably gonna hit the tier 2. But this is a good lesson, guys. If your Darkseer TP's out and you're near a tower, do not go for the tower unless you are untouchable. Okay, unless you are literally untouchable, which some heroes in snowbally games like this can be. For instance, Bristleback is kind of one of them. Maybe if he had more of a Vanguard, he's got a Pugna behind him, so I can see him taking a bit more risk. However, he shouldn't force it, and you can see he's not doing that, right? And this is good map play. You can see it now, right? The Bristleback is not instantly sieging a tier 2. He's not going to keep going after that next wave either. Yep, because he understands what they're trying to do. They're invading the Wisdom, actually stacking with the Ion Shell here. Double Wisdom, probably going to farm with his Tiny, shells up his Tiny. It's always good. Once you have like this much mana, you should spam your shells on every melee hero that comes near you. And good support players will actually ask for shells and use that shell to farm, which is always super interesting, right? You can get a lot of value out of the map. You know, a cool thing as well, he's buying Solar Crest on Tiny. It's so weird. I don't know what the logic is. I mean, it's like some absurd Solar Crest game against the enemy heroes. It's really great. Maybe that's just enough of a reason. I mean, it also gives you just very good stats. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, it's not like Avalanche Toss doesn't work against Silencer. Frequently, it's just too hard to react. But again, guys, notice how he's not overforcing. He's pushing in a lot of waves. Again, shelling the Tiny. The Tiny's using a shell to farm out these back cams. Hyper efficient. Hyper efficient. And the game will basically end on Crimson Pipe. Basically, all they have to do on Tundra now to close out this game, it's actually very, very simple, guys. Basically, all they have to do is get their auras and then take the primary objectives. Obviously, like, it doesn't have to go like that. Maybe the enemy team gets impatient and leaves the base or something of the sort. Wow, they're actually going high ground? Man, okay. This is how strong they feel. They just say double aura? Frick it. Okay, and the enemy, here we go. So, it looks like they weren't actually looking to commit to the high ground push. They want to maybe just force the enemy back. That seems more realistic. It's a nice global, but Crimson Pipe. Yeah, I mean, Crimson Pipe at minute 17, you roar a puck, you global. To be fair, Puck did a great job of getting off his coil here, so there was no rebound or steps from the Void Spirit. Pretty certain he would have died anyway, because, yeah, they're not doing a lot of damage to this Crimson Guard. Actually, oh, he would have died. Oh no. Nice coil from BCM then. Reacting to the smoke. Good. All right, they'll probably call it. This is a point where you're almost forced to call it GG just for your mental state. It's good to just bow out, you know, say, hey guys, this one's cooked. All right, somehow our Lone Druid Silencer lane got annihilated. To be fair, I actually don't think it's a great lane against Darkseer Tiny, primarily because you don't have a way of getting them off of you. You can baby skill E on Lone Druid, but that's like weird. So yeah, it looks like they're gonna force the high ground here, which is definitely off standard. I mean, this is just something you only do when you have some Omega lead. I would say it's something you only do when you have an Omega lead and like multiple heroes to sustain, because otherwise you just get poked out. But I guess with Pugna with a mech, 2 auras, 3 utility items total. I mean, it's actually too much. Okay, what is he gonna buy next? It definitely looks like a Lotus Orb game. It's just so good, right? It's just so good. Against all of the Silencer spells, against Beastmaster Roar, against Lone Druid Root potentially. He picks up his Shard as his next item as well. I'm a big fan of this Shard. If you don't know what it does, basically on Surge, it leaves a trail behind. So for the duration of Surge, 6 seconds, you create a trail. You can see it, it's like this purple fairy dust, and it slows. It's a very significant slow. It actually used to be higher, I'm pretty sure, but it's 35%. It does 40 damage per second, which is not bad. It's more about the slow, like for sure. It's a decent nuke, like it's decent damage because it's kind of just everywhere. So like it adds up, but 35% slow is absurdly significant. As he's actually getting all into here without getting his auras off. He looks pretty dead. Wow, well done. I mean, probably mispositioning from him there, but well done. Either way, this game is basically going to come to an end. Also found a Poor Man's Shield. Big fan of this item. I think it's super underrated. It's underrated in its niche cases where it's good, right? The enemy team has Beastmaster, Lone Druid, all of these physical instances. Marcy, you know, it's some absurd game for Crimson, an instance-based physical block. So yeah, it just makes sense. Super good, this game. Love this. I wonder if they take more of them. Yeah, okay. I wouldn't be surprised if, like, yeah, I was going to say if a lot of people had them, but it's only 2 of them. Okay. And yeah, they're going to siege it up. They did end up going back for Roche. I mean, they probably felt like they didn't need it, but I mean, whatever. It's kind of one of those things where when you're super far ahead, sometimes it's better not to take it. Sometimes. Because it basically stops the enemy team from having time to come back and defend, right? However, as another Roar comes out, but this time he's baiting. It's cool from 33. He's running in like a maniac, making it seem like he's looking for a back wall, but actually in reality, he's 100% looking to just bait the roar, which is the main stun here, and then pop his auras in response, which is great. And back wall into the beast, just finish him off, and that's going to be end of the game. But okay, thank you guys so much for watching. I know this video is probably pretty short. This game was really short, but I thought his gameplay was incredibly crisp. I love this Dark Seer tiny combo. It's really nasty, and I just love how creative he is, how well they understand their timings, because it all comes together. Like, if you can't see after watching this video why pros are so darn good, you're just blind. You're blind and deaf. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.
And that's all, but remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the GameLeap website, where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace.